Greetings and welcome to NECAT Now, a show where we explore Nashville and Middle Tennessee to tell you all about the great people, places, and events that make Nashville so special. I'm your host, McCasland, coming to you from the NECAT studio right here in Music City. On today's episode, we welcome Frederick, manager of the Goodlettsville branch of the Nashville Public Library, where they have recently started a vinyl record listening party, as well as hosting events such as a murder mystery party and other special programs with dinosaurs, puzzles, and a blood drive of all things. In addition to his daily duties at the library, he hosts NPL Means Business right here on the NECAT network, which educates entrepreneurs on how to run a small business. Corey, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Corey, I know the Nashville Public Library has all kinds of great services and events across the branches, and it looks like Goodlettsville is helping lead the charge with that. Can you tell me a little bit about your branch and the neighborhood that you serve?
So the Goodlettsville Library is situated at 205 Rivergate Parkway in Goodlettsville. I always have to plug that so people know where we are. But the branch serves the Goodlettsville community. We end up serving people in Davidson County, but also in Sumner County. There are even folks who come down from Robertson County to use our branch regularly. Goodlettsville, as a lot of people know, is sort of split between counties, but anyone who lives in the city of Goodlettsville can get a library card for free. And so our job is trying to bring community together, all of those counties together into one place and to come see what we have. So we do a lot of stuff, as you said in the intro.
Yeah. That's awesome. Give me the address one more time. Where you're
Sure.
at. Yeah.
It's 205 Rivergate Parkway in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 37072.
And if they want to find you on the web, where do they come to visit your website?
So you can go to library.nashville.gov and click on locations up in the top left. You'll find Goodlettsville. The list will be there with all the library branches. They're alphabetical order. Just find Goodlettsville.
Fantastic. So I know you've got a lot of events coming up, including on January 21st, you've got a dinosaur event coming up. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the Dinosaur Dimensions event is a puppet sort of driven event. There's going to be realistic dinosaur puppets that the kids will have a chance to interact with. They'll learn dinosaur facts, just be engaged and entertained, and all kinds of good stuff there.
So I'm sure the kids are going to enjoy that, but you guys are doing a lot of great work with school-age kids. You have an ongoing event called Homeschool Friends. Tell me a little bit more about that.
The Homeschool Friends program is something that goes on each month. It's on the third Thursday of each month. There's planning for crafts and also STEAM sort of interactivities that people can take part in. It's geared towards homeschool groups because we have a lot of homeschoolers in the Goodlettsville area. Yeah. But, it's not limited to homeschoolers. So pretty much any child.
About how many kids show up to something like that?
This is the second, I believe back in December was the second time we've actually hosted Homeschool Friends. There was probably about 15 to 20 people doing the projects. I know the last time they built towers out of magnetiles and all kinds of cool stuff. So we heard a lot of crashing going on because they were trying to see what was going to be the tallest structure they could build, and of course lots of stuff crashed.
I think that's cool. The library used to be known for, like, as everyone would tell you, the library would say shh, but it's like it's changed drastically over the years with that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what the library sort of identity has become over the years. We do have books, but as any library employee will tell you, we're a whole lot more than books now.
Yeah.
And so we've had to expand and sort of redesign and reconfigure all that.
Yeah. Well, before we have to go to the break, I want to talk about one last thing. We've got National Puzzle Day that's coming up. Can you tell me a little bit about National Puzzle Day and what the Goodlettsville branch is doing to celebrate that?
So it is National Puzzle Day on January 29th. From 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., we'll have puzzles of all kinds throughout the branch. I know we've got Rubik's Cube and even those Rubik's Cubes that have multiple sides that is not just the regular, 3x3 that's been around since, probably before we were born.
Yeah, I used to know the trick to that. It was like 3 turns this way and 3 turns that way. Yeah, I had no clue anymore.
Well, these other ones that we've ordered, I have no idea how to even get close to what the trick is. But we've got Sudoku that will be posted around. We'll have actual jigsaw puzzles all over the place. Just a lot of cool stuff to embrace puzzles. And that's because the Goodlettsville community, whenever they come to our branch, we figured out they enjoyed puzzles. We actually have a puzzle swap, and because of the popularity of the puzzle swap, which is sort of It's not really an official library thing. It's just to bring and take sort of on the honor system. And because of its popularity, we just wanted to celebrate National Puzzle Day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So if people want to find out more about these events, where can they look online to kind of see? Is there social media? Is there a website that
Sure.
which was that?
So you can find Nashville Public Library Goodlettsville on Facebook. You can search for us there. We will have all this stuff posted on there. And then you can also go to the library website, library.nashville.gov, and click on events, filter it down to Goodlettsville, and you'll find all of these things there as well.
Fantastic. So we're going to have to take a quick break, but when we come back, Corey is going to tell us more about the events happening at the Goodlettsville Library. And later in the show, we will talk about his show, NPL Means Business, and how it started as an event and turned into a TV show. We'll be right back.
Did you know Metro Arts and Nashville Public Library have a free lending library? Library card holders can choose from a selection of artworks by local Nashville artists and borrow for up to 3 months. The collection includes framed paintings, photographs, and mixed media. After 3 months, bring the artwork back and borrow a different piece. Available at Donaldson, East, Green Hills, Hermitage, Madison, Old Hickory, and Southeast branches of Nashville Public Library. For more information and to browse the collection online, please visit library.nashville.gov.
Hi, I'm Corey Frederick from the Goodlettsville Branch Library. Did you know that you could get a free library card at any Nashville Public Library branch or online at library.nashville.gov?
Welcome back to NECAT Now. If you're just joining us, our guest today is Corey Frederick from Nashville Public Library, who's been getting blood pumping talking about puzzles, dinosaurs, and how the Goodlettsville branch of Nashville Public Library is serving students in their neighborhood. But speaking of blood pumping, Corey, you're about to work with the American Red Cross on a blood drive. Tell me a little bit more about that.
This is a great segue, by the way, Cameron. So on the 31st of January, we are having a quarterly blood drive. This is something that we've been doing for a while now, at least over a year. We've been partnering with the Red Cross. You can actually go to their website and sign up. Just search for the Goodlettsville Library and it'll pop up, and then you can choose your slot and all that good stuff. They come in, they set up their tables and chairs, get registrations done, so they even take walk-ins. So any way you can volunteer to give blood, it'd be appreciated.
My next question was, do you know what kind of cookies they're going to be giving away? It's always the best part of giving blood is they hook you up at the end with the thing on that.
Well, I know they do give away snacks. I'm not sure brand, and I don't know if it's like a McCasland's or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
What time does that start that day?
So it starts at 11 a.m. and goes to 4 p.m. We just sort of have to, sort of taper it a little bit because they have set up and all that good stuff. So they'll be setting up starting when we open the branch.
And you can walk into this, but is there a way to sign up for it?
Yeah, so you can go to their website. It's just redcrossblood.org, and you can search for the Goodlettsville Library and just sign up that way. It'll have all the time slots. And if you want to do the plasma donation or just the regular blood donation, it'll let you sign up for either one.
That's awesome. Well, another thing that gets the blood pumping is good music. Nashville Public Library has all kinds of great ways to access music digitally through programs like Hoopla and Freegal, which are free with a Nashville Public Library card. But NPL has also recently just went old school analog, opening up a vinyl record collection at Green Hills in Madison that people can check out, as well as a local meetup listening party at Goodlettsville called Sounding Off. Corey, can you tell me a little bit more about Sounding Off?
Sure. So the idea about Sounding Off, it was there are actually two record sort of clubs that go on in the system right now. There's one at the Madison branch that's been going on for a couple of years now, but Sounding Off, the idea behind it is that we focus on one album in particular each month. We do sort of a deep dive on the songs and the artists and just discuss on our thoughts and even sort of after each song. So it's really cool, almost like a audio book club of sorts. Yeah. It's just a pretty cool thing.
So I know in a previous life I used to work at a record store, big lover of vinyl records and things like that. And I know you brought some favorites along with you today. You want to show off some of those,
Sure.
maybe some of the ones that you've talked about at the record club so far?
Sure, that's what I brought. So we've been doing the record club ever since last February. So we're coming up on 1 year with the record club. And so our very first one that we started out with was Aretha Franklin, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You. Her first album that whenever she crossed over to Atlantic Records, and you'll remember a lot of stuff from this album, but Respect is on this one. Everybody knows Respect.
Yeah. Otis Redding song before Aretha did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another album that we've covered is Faces Ooh La La, and a lot of these records, the ones I'm showing you today, are from either my personal collection or another staff member at the branch, their personal collection. But anyways, so another album that we've covered and talked about is Faces, which you know that several, I guess, famous members of Faces, Rod Stewart, most notably, Ronnie Wood, who plays with the Rolling Stones. There's Kenny Jones, who played drums for The Who at one point. So Faces, pretty pivotal band there.
I was telling Corey before the show, my mom loved Rod Stewart as a kid, and so when I was a little boy, I definitely did a whole lot of dancing around the house to all that was Rod Stewart songs. But I didn't find that Faces record until I was in college, and it is fantastic.
Sure.
So, yeah.
We did Janis Joplin. Can't do a vinyl club without Janis Joplin at some point. We also talked about the blues with Howlin' Wolf, Moaning in the Moonlight. Had Santana Abraxas, and then the Cars. The Cars, their debut album, which I think we covered that back in December.
Yeah, and I was telling you, Rick Ocasek, who did that, produced the first two Weezer records, so the Blue Album and Pinkerton.
And so one thing I try to do with the record club is whenever you walk in, I'll have music playing, another album that I bring, and it's usually got some kind of connection. So I brought the Weezer Blue Album, and that's what we started that out with.
And this next one is one of my all-time favorite records.
Mine too. I love The Clash, love London Calling from front to back. This album was a little long. We have an hour schedule for the record club, and so sometimes we have to jump a couple songs, and so we did in this one, but besides that, everybody loved it and loved to see what the lyrics and all that good stuff meant. Most recently, we listened to Southeastern, Jason Isbell, another great deep dive into lyrics and song meanings, one of the best songwriters out there.
Yeah. Just saw him at the Ryman back in October. Killer show.
Love him. And then our vinyl record club coming up in February, we plan to have A Love Supreme with John Coltrane, one of the greatest jazz albums of all time. So, and that's going to be on February 4th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, very cool, Corey. Once again, we're going to have to take a break real quick on NECAT Now, but stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to hear more from Corey Frederick, manager of the Goodlettsville branch of the Nashville Public Library, about puzzles and small businesses. Stay tuned.
What's NECAT?
A place for anyone.
Sure. NECAT Network.
That's Nashville Education, Community, and Arts Television.
Everyone knows that.
But did they know that NECAT runs 3 television stations that serve counties all over Middle Tennessee?
We know that! But what a lot of people don't know is that NECAT is also an active community partner.
That's right. We're more than a television network. We love Nashville, and we love supporting as many organizations any way we can.
From Friends Life to Nashville Predators Foundation, NECAT provides studio access and training to help community organizations. So when you think of NECAT,
remember, we're way more than a television station.
We're Nashville.
Thank you, Predators!
Welcome back once again to NECAT Now. I'm your host, Cameron McCasland, in conversation with Corey Frederick from Nashville Public Library. In our last segment, we were talking about vinyl records at NPL. I think a lot of people only think the library is a place for books, so it's great to know that stuff like that's out there. But even with books, Corey, you guys are taking a non-traditional approach with things like your book talk. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Sure. So Book Talk was sort of grown out of a necessity. We have a book club that's been thriving for several years. It's called Page Turners. And at some point, book clubs get to an unwieldy size. People don't get a chance to talk, and it just gets unsustainable. And so we started Book Talk. And Book Talk takes a different view, like you said, of how to run a book club. Instead of a particular book each month that they read on sort of a topic or a theme. I know in the month of February, what do you think of with February? Valentine's Day, of course. And so a book with the theme of love or love in the title, anything dealing with love, that's all you have to read and then come talk about it. The book talk takes place every second Tuesday of each month in the afternoon at 4 p.m.
Fantastic. I'm going to keep moving through this. I know you got a lot of events going on, but I know earlier in the show we talked about National Puzzle Day and how you guys were celebrating that. But you also have the Family Puzzle Night that's coming up, which sounds the same, but maybe it's a little different thing. Can you tell us about that one?
Sure. So Family Puzzle Night's an ongoing sort of program. We do every other month. We offer the Family Puzzle Night. Like I said earlier, it's because of all the people who love doing puzzles at the library. And so Family Puzzle Night is sort of a puzzle contest. So it's we have a puzzle that everybody will do. There'll be several copies of that puzzle and individual tables. And a family comes in, sits down at one of those tables. We time it off. Everybody starts at the same time. And the fastest sort of puzzle completed is the winner. You end up winning a 3D printed trophy and take that home. So it's a really cool event. And it's,
how many piece puzzles are we talking about this?
So we've tried a few different numbers. I think one time our largest was probably 700 or 800 pieces. We figured out real quick that was way too much. We have an hour and a half to do the program, and we figured out sort of the sweet spot is 300 to 500 pieces, and we have a lot of people finish.
And so outside of like these events, are there puzzles at the library you can check out?
So we have an unofficial puzzle swap at our branch. I know that some other branches do the same. So there's not any that you can find in the catalog and place holds and all that good stuff. So it's unofficial, but you can definitely drop by, browse what we have out, and if you see something, take it.
Take a puzzle, leave a puzzle, kind of.
That's it. That's all it is. So that puzzle night and the puzzles sort of there at Goodlettsville are just, anybody can come in and join and all that good stuff. And you actually get to take your puzzle home with you once you finish the puzzle night contest.
I love that. Well, Corey, I know you have a heart for entrepreneurs and small business owners. You have a monthly meeting every second Tuesday of the month. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So we've been doing this small business discussion series for, I want to say we are probably in our second year of doing this, or third year. One of the two. Anyways, so we've been doing it for a little while.
A lot of years.
Yeah. This small business discussion series takes place on the second Tuesday of each month at 12 p.m. It's on WebEx, so it's all virtual. You don't have to travel anywhere. You can log in with your phone or computer, tablet, whatever you want to, and just listen. Most of the time the crowd size is sort of small, but it's the SBA that leads the program, and they talk about different topics, and with a smaller crowd size they can actually have a one-on-one conversation. So if you have questions about how to get a loan, they have time to talk about it there too. So you can ask those directly to those folks, or you can talk offline with them because they share their contact information.
If people want to get involved with that or attend, is there a sign up for it or?
Sure. So you can go to our website. You'll see my email address for the sign up part. But if you go to library.nashville.gov, find services. Once you click on services, click on NPL Means Business, and there at the top of the page you'll see the little blurb for the small business discussion series, and it'll say email Corey Frederick at nashville.gov. So it's Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, Frederick, F-R-E-D-E-R-I-C-K at nashville.gov.
I know this has kind of grown into some other things. Recently you started a podcast. Can you real quickly tell me a little bit about that and what people can expect out of the podcast that's coming?
Sure. So the podcast with NPL Means Business, we try to provide resources to all small business owners and entrepreneurs. So the idea with the podcast, I know that Nashville Entrepreneur Center already has a podcast where they interview entrepreneurs, and so we want to provide resources. So the idea behind our podcast is that we are going to interview community organizations, community resources that are available to people. And so if there's a particular organization that you as a small business owner have a question about, the idea would be is that you could find our podcast, go down to that episode in particular and listen to it. Those episodes plan to be about 15 minutes long. Like I said, we'll interview those organizations for them to just tell us what they do, what they can offer, and all that good stuff.
Fantastic. So you got the regular event, now a podcast, and you also have a TV show, but we're going to have to hear more about that after the break. If you'll stay with us, we'll be right back with Corey here on NECAT Now.
Do you dream of opening your own business?
Do you have a side hustle that you want to take to the next level?
What if I told you that your local library has free resources to get you started?
Because at Nashville Public Library, we mean business.
What is NPL Means Business? It's an initiative that seeks to create a more diverse and motivated entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nashville, with the library being an essential player in helping Nashville citizens discover and realize their dream business.
So what do? We offer classes, book discussion clubs, print resources, business-related databases, as well as a book a librarian service, which allows entrepreneurs to make appointments with staff who can direct them to the resources they need. Classes and programs are delivered through Nashville Public Library, as well as in conjunction with community partners, including the Small Business Association.
To find out more, visit your local library location or go to library.nashville.org.
Welcome back to NECAT Now. Today we've been talking with Corey Frederick, who is a manager at the Nashville Public Library. In the last segment, he was talking about small businesses and how monthly NPL meetups turned into a podcast and also a TV show entitled NPL Means Business. Seems like a lot of work, Corey. Tell me a little bit about this TV show, though.
Well, I try to stay busy, Cameron.
Yeah.
And so the TV show, like you said, sort of spawned out of that monthly series that we already have with SBA. We had a good working relationship with them, and it was just the idea about getting information to more of a mass audience and things being sort of on demand, actually. The series that we have been running monthly on a regular small business workshop, not really on demand. We can't really record it, couldn't really do anything, so you just sort of have to do it live, and so or take advantage of it live. But with the recording of the show, that was something that we could offer people, and so it could be asynchronous. You could jump on at midnight or 12 p.m. It doesn't matter. You can jump on whenever and watch it, and so we're really proud to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that show, it tapes right here in the same studio that we're at right now. I've had a blast seeing you kind of help put that show together, kind of see just every time you're in here to kind of see like, oh, there's people out there that are trying to do these small businesses and all those different things. Yeah. But do you have any stories about, whether it be someone who's watched the TV show, or I know the podcast isn't up just yet, but even attended one of the events that might have got some knowledge and came back to you and said, oh, this is what happened because I attended one of these events, like any, I guess, stories from the front,
sure.
As they say.
So there are a few folks reach out to us all the time. Sometimes they do our Book a Librarian program, and they talk with us about their small business, and they've hit a snag and sort of thing. I know that there's one business in particular who publishes a local newspaper. They've attended lots of things, lots of different programs, small business related programs, even part of a series, and they've come back several times and said, this series has helped me sort of expand my business, give me a better footing for how to do macros in Excel, which that's over my head.
Do that. Yeah.
That is over my head stuff. So there's a lot of programming that goes along with that, and so we were able to help them that way, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's so cool. I know NPL offers a lot of like books, obviously, and then like other resources on getting started in programs like this. But I'm going to let you do your duty as a librarian and tell people how they can get a Nashville Public Library card if they don't have one already.
Absolutely. So to get a library card, all you have to do is go to our website. It's library.nashville.gov. Up in the top, usually the top right corner of the screen, you'll find a little Get a Card link. And once you click on that, you have two different options. There's option A, where it does like a third-party background check, and you actually don't even have to go into the library if you choose option A. It'll give you an electronic card right there on the spot. If you do option B, you don't want your background checks, all that other stuff. It just checks your address, essentially. But if you don't want that, you can do option B, and that's essentially just filling out the paperwork online. You come in the library, you bring your ID with you. If your ID has your current address, that's all we need. You show that to us, we get you a card, we're cool. If your ID does not have your current address, a piece of mail, a current bill, utility bill or something, that verifies your name and address. But we'll get you a card right then and there.
That's fantastic. So one more last thing before we close out the show. And I thought this was just awesome when I saw it for the first time. But Goodlettsville branch is hosting a murder mystery party.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, how it came to be. Because I know you've already done one of these, but like you got one coming up as well. So talk to me a little bit about that.
So we've actually done a couple now. So this will be the third one. We're starting to offer them quarterly. The first murder mystery, we were actually approached by a patron who said that he had all the set, which he was a well-known patron. He's at the library all the time. But he had this murder mystery. He would be happy to lead it for us if we could just find people to attend. And so it's like, here's my character list. We need people for all the characters. And so we said, sure. So we took on the challenge. We actually had more than the character list show up for it. And so a lot of times, and this happened with that next one that we did, if we have more than what we need for characters, then you end up being an observer and you get to participate as well. Still at the end, you get to guess who the murderer is and all that good stuff. So, but it all sort of started from, I think it was back in the summer whenever we offered the first one. And then the second one was back in the fall. And it was, well, the first one was 1920s flapper themed. The second one, I think, took place in the 19-teens, and they were they were on like a ship, sort of Titanic situation. The next one coming up, which is in February, will take place in the 1970s murder on the dance floor. So
that'd be a blast. One last time, Corey, tell me the street address so people, if they want to come see you, where can they find you?
So anybody can come into the library at Goodlettsville at 205 Rivergate Parkway, Goodlettsville, Tennessee 37072.
And one last time on the website, if they're going to sign up for a library card or want to check out the catalog, where can they find it?
So catalog, library card, events, all that good stuff can be found at library.nashville.gov.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey, for joining us. I hope you'll come back and see us soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to have to wrap this thing up here. That's all the time that we have for NECAT now. I hope you enjoyed exploring Nashville with us. To find out more about our show and how you can start your own television show at Nashville Education Community Arts Television, visit us on the web at necatnetwork.org. Until next time, I'm Cameron McCasland signing off for NECAT Now from the beautiful Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. Have a great day.